What's going on? This Fotemah, and I'm over here hanging out with Dori Day. Where am I from? What do I do? For most people that don't know me, I'm from Cameroon, Street Bamenda, from Awing, Santa to be exact. Went to school in Atuacom. Shout out. I left Cameroon when I was like 8 years old. Got a chance to travel the world because my dad was a diplomat. Started off in New York, where I fell in love with music, but before that it was Cameroon with Makossa, then went to New York, discovered hip-hop and R&B, and then went to Algeria, Belgium, and from Belgium I went to Atlanta, and my parents went back to Cameroon. I furthered my education, and that's where, to tell a long story short, where I met Akon, and years upon years later I became vice president of Konvict Music. So in short, that's the story if you haven't heard it yet. It was real easy for me. Music has always been something that was in my blood. Even my parents knew from the time I was real small, having me come and say, "Hey, dance, Bendeka," in front of everybody. I always had a love for music. I loved soccer and sports, and I considered it, but the pull for music was always in me. So I started off dancing, and then went into rapping, and then producing, and then I figured out, I like the business better than being in front of the screen, so I switched to being in front of the screen. So it was just a natural progression for me, and then you just got to know what you're really talented at, and I feel like my ears were probably stronger than my feet. First, you got to show the home front love first. That was my main thing, and I knew the struggle, or not even struggle, the challenges that Cameroonian artists faced, getting out there. I mean, Nigerians were whooping our tail for a minute. We had a nice run with Makossa. We had a nice run on the continent, but then I think we got stagnant and kind of passed it over to Nigeria. Nigerians took it and have done an incredible job with it. But then as I was traveling home, I started seeing a lot of talent that was not getting discovered or given the proper opportunity. So it was only fair that this is my home place. I go back and forth a lot, so let me try to see what I could do to be of assistance to some of the talent back home. So that was my main drive for wanting to help talent in Cameroon. Let's see, Jovi came to me through a bunch of different people who, if I start mentioning names right now, I'll forget some people. But everyone was saying, "This guy Jovi, this guy Jovi, this guy Jovi." So at the Akon show, I think it was at the hotel, they brought Jovi for me to meet Jovi. And at that time, I was just looking for Cameroonian talent. So they brought Jovi, we sat down, talked, and they showed me Jovi's videos. So one of the first questions I asked was, okay, this is real dope. Who's producing it? Who's shooting the visuals? And it was all in-house. And I was impressed at the fact that, we're in the States and we have all this equipment, and they're there with limited functionalities, and they're able to produce that level of videos and that level of music. So it was really natural because he was and still is very talented. So that's what made me gravitate towards Jovi. And I also saw that Jovi can cross over from Cameroon borders. So when I was looking for an artist, I was looking for someone because I'd been working on the P Square project with Akon, helping out on the Wiz Kid, and I saw how these artists were crossing Nigerian borders, and even Khan himself being, someone from Senegal and now is worldly known. So if I was looking for an artist, I was looking for someone who can do the same thing. So Jovi fit that description, and that's what made me gravitate towards Le Monstre. Yes, I was very impressed, and I'm still impressed, and I feel like Jovi and a bunch of other people have set the bar for other Cameroonians to follow and know that, this is the bar. We have to be there or be better. So so I'm looking at people like Salatiel, Alpha Beta Records. From the time I met Salatiel in Cameroon a couple of years ago and had a conversation with him, from then to now, I'm looking at his whole camp and they've grown. I'm looking at people like, Renice, Daphne. Like people are really stepping up the videos, stepping up the production, stepping up the ante from the last time, I met them, or from the last time I was home, or over the past few years. I'm seeing to the point where now a lot of people are able to compete on a worldwide stage. So my job is really to help wherever I can help. It's never been a money thing for me. It's just been leaving a legacy that I was able to touch someone at some point in the culture. I've been having a lot of talks with different artists. First, it takes a lot for me to gravitate towards an artist. That's the first thing. So I just don't work with anyone, and that's why people never really hear me saying I'm working with this person, working with that person. It takes a lot. Again, I got to make sure that not only are you talented, but mentally you're prepared for a journey that you would never expect in your wildest dreams, with the ups and downs. This is not a go to school, get a degree, get a job, go 9 to 5. This is I'm rolling the dice and believing in myself. This is entrepreneurship. So before I work with you, I have to know that, business-wise, you're there. Loyalty, very key. There's some Cameroonian artists that I've almost worked with that the loyalty has been questionable, that I'd be like, can't do it. So yes, Jovi has been the main one that has really piqued my interest. Stanley, shout out to Stanley, very talented. Definitely piqued my interest. Of course, those are like the, and then now Salatiel and his whole team definitely piqued my interest. So I've had conversations with a few of them, and time will tell to see who I gravitate towards. Masa, I like your pidgin, So for the next generation to achieve that goal, I think they're already doing a great job of competing. They have to realize the advantages that they have. Some of those advantages which I love is the fact that a lot of them are bilingual. So that opens you up to a larger demographic. The music is now matching a world stage. The visuals are matching a world stage. Now, the key is artist development. Not just doing the video, doing a song, but actually sitting there and being meticulous in the process of putting together a body of work. Not that we go studio and master this the song. Oh, why is this the song? Who does this song appeal to? What does this song make you feel? what's the age that this song is going to target? What's the visual for this song? How is this visual going to match this song? Not that we just straight video. Hey, Masa, they shoot video tomorrow. Come now, hey? No. Your boys can't be in the video all the time. So being very meticulous in the process of putting together a body of work is what will make us be able to finally compete, with Nigeria, and not necessarily Nigeria, compete with the whole world, period. This is, we should not look to Nigeria as the competition. We should look to, we are the competition. And it's a world stage. The internet has made it an even playing field. When I call over to Spotify or Tidal, and I'm making referrals to, hey, this guy just dropped a project, I think you all should put it on your platform. And I put a lot of people's projects on the platform that they don't even know. They're dropping a project. They're looking at, hey, can they compete with everyone else? So I think that's what it's going to take. And one more thing. Cameroonian artists have to come together a little bit more. That is very key in building up the culture. Cameroonian artists have to stand for something a little bit more. Music is like watching the news. Okay? It tells what's going on with relationship between man, woman, and family, or man, woman, and family as in relations to your surroundings. So I feel like if they do those things, that will take us to the next level. The funny thing is, I've been asked that question a lot, but you're the first one that's actually asked me that question on camera, so it's quite interesting. I don't like to do things that I can't commit to all the way. That's something that I really want to commit to, and if I find the correct artist that really piques my interest to go forth with that, I'll definitely do it. I can't put the cart before the horse and say I'm going to start a label without finding something that really, makes me move, So if I find the correct artist, I would definitely do that, or the correct team. So I guess this is a good time to say, let me know if I should do it or not, or let me know if you have an artist out there that you feel like, Tima, this is an artist, or let me know if you're interested in being an A&R or a graphic designer or shooting videos. Oh, by the way, shout out to King Stevens. Or shooting videos, shout out to Eddie B, matter of fact, as well. Or shooting videos, shout out to Akenjum. If I don't get these shout outs, they're gonna kill me. Okay, so let me know. I'm open. I'm here. But the bottom line is, I'm here to help the people. I'm for the people, whether big or small. I'm here for the culture. The culture comes first, and then the money follows. Everyone that really knows me for that. And let's just say there's some interesting plans in the works for 2018, and some interesting announcements that are coming, and some decisions that I have to make, so that fall in line with that question. Again, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with every decision, and those are things that I cannot speak on because there's always two sides to the story. So I hear public opinion and artist opinion from the public, not directly from the artist. I've never sat down and asked Jovi the reason behind it, because again, that's Jovi's label. When you get into business with someone, you have a choice. Whether you continue doing business with them or you cease to do business with them. Now, unless someone puts a gun to your head to sign a contract, you sign a contract. Not to say that if the contract was fair or unfair, but again, we have to get wise when it comes to handling our business. And that goes for me too. That goes for everyone on a daily basis. Don't be thirsty and sign a contract out of being thirsty, whatever the case might be. So if I was an artist, I want to sign to New Bell, and I come to you, New Bell, and you're not treating me properly, I have a decision I have to make. Do I stay or do I leave? If I stay, if you're in someone's house, you have to abide by someone's rules. And if you don't like those rules, you have to exit. Whether the rules are good or whether the rules are bad, that's not the last stop for you. Create your own opportunities. Jovi was able to create opportunities to be able to have these artists come and even think about signing to him. So he knows his value. Jovi knows his value. So Alpha Beta was able to create opportunities to have artists come and sign to them. You know, so these artists, if you're not satisfied with what New Bell or Alpha Beta is doing or whatever, put yourself in a position and create something for yourself where you don't have to deal with these issues. So I'm not here to say it's right, and I'm not here to say it's wrong. I'm here to say that you, the artist, always have choices to better your career with New Bell or without New Bell, with Alpha Beta or without Alpha Beta, with Fotemah or without Fotemah. Now, what I will say is, being Cameroonian, I would hope that we treat our own better in order to move the culture forward, which goes back to what I said, working together. Let's put it like this. It was an opportunity. Okay? I played Akon the record, Shine the Light, that Jovi had made, and you know, the hook was already on there, everything was done. Kon didn't have to do anything. You know, Jovi had already done everything. Kon heard the record, loved the record, and we said, you know what? I called Jovi, I was like, look, what you want to do? We never agreed on the splits for the record, but the one thing we agreed on was this is an opportunity. Okay, so Kon was putting out a mixtape, and we know what happens with mixtapes. It's like, you know what, let's put it out and see what it does, you know. So the record worked actually better for Jovi than it did for Akon. So it was a case where we didn't agree on the split. So it was like, either we can stop the record or we can let the record be put out. You know, we said, you know what, let the record go, and then we're going to use the record as an opportunity to help, you know, or assist Jovi to spring forward, use it to his advantage, and Kon use it to his advantage. So it's like, you know, Kon, if you could use the record, do it. Jovi, if you could use the record, go ahead. So I feel like both parties got what they wanted out of the record. Was there paperwork involved? No, there was no paperwork involved at the time, you know, because we made that decision for it not to be. I watch King Stevens shorts. Those are pretty much the only ones that I've really gotten a chance to really wrap my brains around. I've watched some of Gilbert's material as well. So I watch him, but I feel like there's still room to grow. And again, it goes back to that supporting each other and working together. You could see cracks in that business as well. However, I've been proud over the past year to see what they've been doing as far as like coming together, you know, what's it called, the Cam Fest, you know, to try to bring the community together. But to be honest, I feel like we're far from where we need to be with the talent that we have, but I think we're getting there. The message is, it's the same complaint all over the world. Artists here in the States have the same complaint. Man, they're not buying our records, they're streaming our records now. You know, man, the people not supporting us, like, you know, man, the promoters not supporting us. Make quality music and continue pushing. Put God first and push. That's all you can do. Like I said before, when you get in this business, you got to be ready, because you're rolling a dice. So we can complain. I hate complaints. I really like complaints. I love solutions. So if you give me a complaint, give me a solution, even if it's not the right solution. Like, let me hear the complaint. I only need to hear the complaint one time. And I need to hear a whole bunch of solutions that we can work through. So I feel like the ones that are complaining, what are some of the solutions? You know, because yes, you have a valid complaint, but me and you sitting around complaining all day is not gonna get me or you anywhere. You know? So what's the solution? They're not supporting us. How do we get them to support us? Let's look internally. Is it something that we're doing wrong in order not to garner that support? Or is it something that they're not interested in, that they don't want to support? However, there's always support somewhere. You just have to go find it. So where's the support? Because you can't say everyone's not supporting you. That's not possible. So find where your support is. It's called analytics. Find where your base is and stir up your base to make so much noise to the point that everyone is looking crazy. That, dang, I feel even bad that I feel like I cannot even say something in public that's negative towards this artist, because the bass is just hey Jovi, hey Stanley, hey Salatiello. You be like, oh man, let me be quiet, because this guy's bass. Find your bass, you know. And I'm not saying that it's easy by a long shot. I'm not in your position by a long shot. I'm only speaking from a perspective of what I've experienced and the mistakes that I have made. I always tell people that's the perspective that I speak from. I'm not a point the finger kind of person, because when you point the finger, you get about 10 more pointing right back at you. I am a solutions. So instead of discussing complaints, the complaints are there. People complained about Jesus. Let's focus on what are the solutions. I've always told everyone I'm willing to come and do seminars back home, but I've never gotten really the invitation. You know, everyone knows me whenever I touch down in Cameroon and I'm working on my jump project, and you know, I always make it a point to ask wherever I am, who's the hottest artist in this neighborhood? Known or unknown, I don't care. I don't care if they're still living in mud block. I go to their house, I sit, and I listen to the music, and I try to do what I could do to, give constructive criticism as to what they can do. So I'm always here to help and push the culture. I'm always here, whether it's a Jovi, a Stanley, Salatiel, all of them know me. I'm here to push the culture, to push the country. Because you know who's watching? It's the next generation that's coming up. So the example that we sets the tone for the next generation. So as we cross these bridges, don't burn them. Go back, make them stronger, put up some directions, some directives as to how to move, because you're not going to be in that position forever. There's always someone, you start getting older, but what have you done to help the next? Now if you ask me what have I done, I can run you down a nice resume of things that I've done to help people, even if they accept it or they don't accept it. Absolutely, and thank you for Dorito for being patient with me too on today. I do whatever it takes to help my brother and my sister, and my brother and my sister has to do whatever it takes to help their brother and their sisters. Now there's always going to be those that, because honestly speaking, a lot of our people, but are you going to join them, or are you going to and work? It's as simple as that. Before we go, let me tell you something. While you're sitting at home, back in Cameroon, you got people like Dodi Day here, being an ambassador and pushing the culture. Have you called him and tried to get on his show or get an interview? You might want to do that. Jump, join us making progress.